Four, three, two, one. We're live, right? Are we live already, Biruska? Oh, look, here we have a couple of
Yeah.
people here already showing up. Vlad is here, John, Bogdan, Ben, Gene. How are you guys? Hope you're doing well. And welcome to our Thursday session from the Land Pilot. And I'm super happy to have a guest. I was working a long time to get him on the show, but this guy is so busy and always all over the place, right? I see him like on Facebook, I see him on the Family Mastermind, I see him hanging out with his friends. Welcome, Nicholas Nick. How are you,
Yes,
buddy?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. How are you?
Really well, man. I guess I wanted to have Nick on Nicholas on the show. Is it? Can I say Nick too? Like, is it Nick
Yeah,
Nick?
you can
Nick
say
Nick?
whatever.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
hit
we
me
can
with
say
it.
Nicholas, right? Like, and probably just your mom calls you Nicholas, right?
That's
Is it
right.
like
That's
that?
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
only when she's mad at me. Right.
Oh, I got that. I get. Verosa, can you give me the opportunity to share my screen real quick? I want to show you one picture, right? Like, I want to show you one picture.
Oh, you got this
Uh,
picture pulled up of us?
Oh,
You got
like
that?
yeah, look at this. This is how we met the first time real life in person last year in Florida, right? The 6'8" gentle giant and the 6'9" gentle Floridian, right?
Yeah, I love it.
But and there was just a nice conversation we had about like about the topic of acquisition, right? I mean, we do dispo, but then we get deals. They need to be deals, and you are one of the go-tos in the industry when it comes to like disposition acquisition as a service, right? Like text messaging, cold calling,
Yeah.
and I was like so excited to have you on board because there are all this myth around that. How do you do that, and how is success rate? And I want to start kick this off today because I heard that quote like last week two times. Land flipping is dead. What would you say to that?
Wow. Wow, you've actually heard that? You
I
know,
heard that two times in one week. It's so sad, man. Like, let me talk with that guy who's killing it, right?
what I would say to that is it sounds like a quitter trying to make an excuse, if I could be completely honest. I've been we've been in business for 8 years generating leads. We've been doing it for houses and for land. And, I can tell you right now that land still gets 2 to 3 times more leads than houses does, right? And if you're getting 3 times more than houses, then houses has been dead for years, right? And it's like, well, we know that's not the case. So it's like the first thing is the results we get in land is astronomical. Now, what I would ask that person, and I already know if he's getting no leads, I can already predict one of the markets he's in, right? And he's probably in Orlando or Miami or Houston or Dallas or Phoenix, right? And it's like, because I those are tough markets. Because those are tough markets for house investors too, right? They're just so saturated. So the first one would be no way is it dead. The second thing would be is you need to change your market if that's your perspective. Okay.
I love
Because
that.
yeah, 100%.
I love that. Let's talk about buckets, man. Like,
Yeah.
because that's a huge discussion we have on our comms calls too, right? All the time. What are the markets you do? What are the markets you're in? Like, what are you seeing working in 2025? Like, what are the markets like our fellow land investors want to be in?
Yeah, so for me, what I actually try to do is I don't focus on where to go, I focus on where not to go. Okay. And it's like, and there's a couple reasons. One, I have like 200 clients a month, right? So if I start passing out markets to people, I'm going to be creating saturation. Now, I will tell you what I share with everybody. So first, I'll share the 7 markets you want to stay away from. Okay. And then we can talk about how to find the best markets. Okay. Now,
I love that.
I just named a couple of them. Okay. Orlando, Miami, Atlanta, Chicago, Houston, Dallas, Phoenix, Southern California. Anyone in any of those markets, they're not bad markets, but you're going to spend more money and you're going to get less leads. Okay. That's what happens in these super saturated, super metro areas, right? And let's talk about why real fast. Let's just talk about Miami because I actually know the numbers. So Miami has 500,000 people that live in Miami. Okay. But if you look up the tourist attraction, there's 27 million people a year that visit Miami. Okay. Which means over 2 million people a month visit Miami. So the town holds 500,000 and 2 million a month come in. Do you think those 2 million, some of them might consider moving there? Do you think that some of them might think they want to buy their own land or their own house? So your market, because of tourism, is way more saturated than you think it is. Well, there's only 500,000 people. No, there's 2.5 million people there every month, is what it is. And so, really considering your market, and you don't want to go after the big name brands, right? I always say with markets, I call them celebrity cities, right? A market like Miami, Southern California, Houston, Dallas, everybody in Texas, when they think about investing, they go, I'm going to go into Dallas too. Like no matter where they're at in Texas, they also think Dallas, right? So those celebrity cities end up working against us. Okay. So that's where not to go and why. All right. The next part is where do we go? What do I tell every client that wants to invest in land? I tell them to pick a metro area closest to them if they want to be close. A lot of new people do want to be close to their home, not that they're going to go see the land, but it gives them comfort to like be in the same state, right? And I get that. That makes total sense. But not that you have to be even close to it, like physically, but in the same stage where a lot of people like. And then go 30 to 50 miles out and pick two counties to split test. Okay. And then on the list pulling criteria, I recommend 0 to 20 acres. And then you just give us those counties and we will pull everything for you in those markets as well. So we'll do all that. And then, so when someone says, what are the markets? And those are good. So what we're doing with that strategy is we're going to the metro. So we know there's a need, there's a desire, but then we're going further out from the metro. Okay. And then now we're making sure that it's not too touristy, it's not too attractive, and there actually is land out there. And then we start there. And this advice is not only good, but it helps me stop markets from being saturated. Like I said, I don't want to give everybody, oh, pick this one. I know a couple of coaches that all they do is teach wholesaling in South Florida, land wholesaling. Well, that coach is saturating her own market. If you really think about it, there's only so when you point people out of direction, the more people you get in your program, you're actually hurting their chances as they go in there. So my strategy, one thing that's great about it is it keeps everyone all spread out all over the nation, which means it is helping us be resistant to these saturated markets.
That's so wise, right? Like, this is what we see happening too, right? Because there go two things with that, right? The first of all, you get less leads. Second of all, these prices are top notch, right? It's like my best example for that is always the Austin market, right? I think in the whole Austin market are right now 12,000 land listings. And we have it over the past 3 years, 8,000 property sales, like just for land, right? That means there's like 1.5%, 1.5 times that supply than there have been sales in the past 3 years, right? So when
Yeah.
you look at markets, I'm exactly with you. And we swapped like 3 4 years ago already in Germany back in my house flipping career, right? We swapped to this, we call them the B plus markets, right? It's the cities that are not on the news. It's the cities that you don't see in the top rankings, right? Like where I say look around, right? Like I don't know. Chattanooga in Tennessee, for example. Like when you look around Chattanooga and the market there, it's fucking brilliant, right? But who knows Chattanooga in Tennessee? Nobody talks about that, right?
Yeah. Right.
And don't take Chattanooga now, but there are like trillions of examples where you
Right.
can do that. Um, but I really like what you said that really especially and this is what I always say too is like when you look at markets like today there's so wonderful data tools to look that up, right? Like where how are turnaround times, I don't know, land inside the land portals, and whatever, we can watch that up, go in that markets where you really see a market that's not too hot but that's not too flop too,
Right.
right? That's not
That's
too
right.
cold where stuff is swapping now. But so from the market stuff, right? You advise people to do that, and I know that you offer texting and call calling.
Yeah.
Now, get us into the weeds. What's working better, right? This is what everybody wants to know because we get this question all the time, right? Is it
Yeah.
like texting? Should I do texting? Should I do call calling? I said I don't know, but Nick knows because he
Yeah.
runs 10,000, 100,000 of leads a month through his system, so he will
Right.
probably get an answer on that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So we did about 50,000 text messages uh last week, right? And then we did a 65,000 cold calls last week. So we're definitely very well versed now. With land, honestly, the answer is you want to do both at first. Okay. I don't know. And every market responds differently. So we don't know what's going to work. We do know one of them or both of them are definitely going to work, right? That is one of the huge perks. So we don't know exactly which one or what that is, but always do both. And that's because with the cold calling, what we do is we have American cold callers. That's one of the big opportunities of using us is it's not a foreign caller. The foreign caller definitely hurts you. When you're calling in the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin, nobody wants to hear a Filipino accent and think that they're going to sell their 5 acres of land to that guy. Like they know that that's not happening. So the first thing I do to give you an edge in cold calling is I have an American on the phone. Okay. And that's a big difference. It's not just a regular cold caller, right? Then with texting, texting really kind of works everywhere. And that is the beauty of it. And the more we get into texting, the less we see other people are texting, right? So as the years go on, people are pulling out more and more from the texting. Now that helps all of us because as less of your competition is texting, that means that our texts become more meaningful, right? And then we generally get more leads. And we get a ton of leads when texting for land. It's a lot. But the other part is there's a difference in these leads, right? A cold calling lead, we speak to them, we have their energy, they like us, they're listening. On a texting lead, they can very easily be lying to us, right? It doesn't take a lot of their attention to say, yes, I want to sell $5 million, send, right? And so what I always say is cold calling brings the quality and text messaging brings the quantity, which is also why it's good. A lot of people here, so I know a lot of land investors, they do infill lots and they do large parcels. And that's because infill lots is better for cash today and large parcels are better for cash tomorrow. So we do both. Texting is the exact same thing. Get a bunch of the leads from texting so your pipeline's full, get a bunch of hot leads from cold calling, and then you just have your pipeline is very strong at that point. So you're kind of filling it from both sides. But I recommend doing texting and calling always to start. And I have packages that include both at the same time. And then you gauge what you like working the most. You could say, Nick, the texting leads rocked. I loved them. Cold calling sucked for me. I don't want to do that. Fine. Hey, Nick, cold calling was the best. I hated the texting leads. Fine. Like we all have our own preference, which is why I say it's important to do both. So you see what they look like and then you make the best decision for your business moving forward. And with land, if I'm being honest, it's probably going to be to keep doing both. Okay. With houses, again, houses is a different beast, right? It's a lot of saturation. Sometimes one or the other will do great, but with land, most commonly than not, they both do extremely well.
I like that. I like that. And you know what the general message is in that? No matter what you do, it will work as long as you do something, right?
Right.
Like this is what it is. And when you're like probably in the beginning of your career, always do a little bit more. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit sick still. Than a little bit less, right?
Right.
So this is what I like. Let's talk about a thing like and everybody is like dealing with that, and that's like the whole compliance thing about text messaging and call calling and whatever that is. What's your point of view on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So first, I'll start by saying I'm definitely not an attorney, okay? But I will share with you guys a couple of things about the TCPA regulations, what changed and all that good stuff. So the main thing that changed on the most recent regulation that passed January 27th was that it's called one-to-one consent. Okay. So a lot of companies out there, what they're doing is they're generating a lead and they're selling it to 5 people. Okay. That is now officially illegal. Okay. If that person did not agree to five people calling them back, they can sue now. Okay. You're violating the law. They need to consent to that. Okay. Now, the good news with us is everything we do is exclusive. If we get a lead for you, we don't give that lead to anyone else. We tell them, Robin is going to be calling you in the next 24 hours. And that's all they should be hearing from is Robin, right? There is no Robin or Joey or Jeffrey or Sally. We don't talk like that. We just give your name that you're going to follow up. But the one-to-one consent rule does hurt some other cold calling companies that share leads amongst their people. And it also hurts some of the PPL companies, which is more for houses than for land. That stands for pay per lead. Some of these companies will allow five people to buy one lead, right? And then they cannot do that anymore either. So that's one of the big changes. The other big change is that AI was officially considered a robo dial. Now, a robo dial is any dial that doesn't have a human behind the phone. Okay. Let's think about what the government wants. The government wants the economy to be fueled, right? They want employees to get paid. They want that employee to go out and buy shit, right? If we're having AI make cold calls, they're losing money as a government. We're losing money as a society. We're just paying all this money into AI companies and they're just getting richer, right? And so if you really think about their motivation is we want humans behind cold calls, which is another thing that we keep you protected from. We have no AI, none of that stuff. I offer American callers or foreign callers. You get to pick when you hire us which one you think is going to work best for you as well. But that's kind of how that whole system works. Then the last thing I'll share is how to stay protected. Okay. Because there's a big difference between violating the law and not protecting yourself. Okay. No matter what, you guys need to follow what I'm about to say, no matter what. It doesn't matter if you're doing it legally, if you're doing it wrong, no matter what, listen to what I'm about to tell you. Okay. Number one, you never want to give a brand new lead your full name. Okay. You never want to do that. They don't, you just met them. That'd be like going out on a date and giving them your home address. Would you do that? No, you wouldn't. Okay. So giving someone your full name means they can type you into Facebook, type you into Google, find who you are, find where you are, and they could do something, right? Now, we don't want anything to happen there. So first thing is we don't give our full name away because we don't want to be so found so easily. Okay. The second thing that we don't want to do is we don't want to give out our business name to a brand new lead we just met. All right. Hey, what's the name of your business? You know what we tell all of our sellers? Hey, we're just private buyers in the area. No one even bats an eye. Right. My partner's name is Robin. That's it. Right. And so it's like we keep it right there. We don't want to go out of our way. If they know your company name, then they can find you again. And there's a rule of thumb. If they can't find you, they can't hurt you. Okay. And that's why we want to be safe there. The third thing we want to do, whenever you call a lead, don't call them from a number associated with you on the internet. I'll give you an example. If I called you from my business phone number and that's the phone number that Google has, where like if you type in my business name, it says, oh, this is Lead Mining. That's the name of my company, Lead Mining Pros. Oh, this is Lead Mining Pros phone number. Now, if I call someone from that phone number and they type it into Google, I'm going to pop up with an address. So don't call people from any phone number associated with your business online, right? So if that's on your Facebook, if that's on your Google, if that's anything out there, you should not be able to type in that number and find you if you call someone from that number. Those three little steps are going to save you a huge headache just down the road. Because the reality is, it's not about if we're breaking the law or not. It's about some of these people, what they want to do is they want to make you miserable. Okay. They're having a bad day. We've all experienced this if we've ever generated leads before. They're having a bad day. We call them up and they want to make sure we now have a bad day. Right. And they yell at us and they call us back and they threaten us and they do all this stuff. And we don't want to give them that ammo at all. Okay. So no matter what, I recommend following those strategies. Keep yourself protected. Don't go giving all this information. Again, think about if you were like on a date with a complete stranger, you would not give this same exact information out. And when you just meet a seller, it is just like dating. And then if you want, we could even, and that's actually how I handle my acquisition process. So like one of my acquisition processes is I call it like courting your sellers, because one strategy I try to do is I want you guys to have your sellers fall in love with you, right? If you can get your seller to love you, you're going to get that property for the lowest price possible. And so a couple of the acquisition strategies I teach are all about getting the seller to fall in love with you. So.
So that leads me to the next question, right? And thank you for getting me that. How does a seller fall in love with you, right?
Mm.
I would love to know that.
No, absolutely. And it's the same way your date falls in love with you, right? It's the same way your husband fell in love with you, right? And what I always say is, and I have a course that I give away for free, so anyone, I can put it in the chat for anybody if they want it. And this course is called the Hour a Day Investor. And in this course, okay, I just sent it to the chat. In this course, I go through, it's all free, but in this course, I go through a very in-depth strategy. What I'm about to cover with you guys, I go over very in-depth. So in order for love to be generated, we have to be respected. We have to have integrity. We have to have compassion, right? And then the seller has to see that we are doing what we said we were going to do, right? So if we follow this framework, we're going to get the seller to see that we're different than everyone else. We're going to get them to fall in love with us, right? And so the first thing I recommend is after you get a lead, you call the lead and you be extremely friendly. Okay. The
But by
very
the way,
first,
guys, now is the time where you want to start like writing things down, right? This is like the pure juice, right? Like
yeah,
that's coming right now, right?
yeah, that's right. No, thank you. But let's say you get a lead from us or from anybody else. So I train all of my clients, and this is in the videos, but to call them up and say, hey, I just got your information about the 3-acre property in Texas. Is that right? Oh, yeah, 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 that was me. Oh, great, great. Well, my name's Nicholas, and I was just reaching out. I just want to tell you what's going to happen next. Okay. So I got your property here. Now, over the next 2 days, I'm going to do some online research. And if this property is a good fit for me, I'm going to make an offer on it. Now, when I make that offer, do you prefer I make that offer on a regular mail, or is email okay? Okay. And then whatever they say, we now use that. Well, email. Well, great. Well, could I get your email address so I could send that offer out when it's ready? Right. Or regular mail. Okay, great. Could I get your mailing address? And I'll make sure I send it over via FedEx. Right. Boom. So then we have that. Then what I recommend you say is, this is a good rapport builder. This shows them that you care, that you have compassion. And then I recommend you say, well, have you ever sold a piece of land before? Okay. And what we're doing is we're looking for them to say no, or it's been a while, or like that they're unfamiliar. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, Mario. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say, well, great. Well, what I like to do with first time land sellers is when I send the contract over to you, I actually want to walk you through the contract. Would that be okay? So now we're showing them that we care. Look, I want to show you everything. I'm not trying to sneak one by you. I'm not trying to lie to you. I'm not trying to mess with you. Okay. I'm going to send you I'm going to send you the contract, and then I'm going to walk you through the whole thing. So there's no surprises for you. So think about now this customer service experience that, we're providing them with. No one's talking like this. No one's offering to walk them through the contract. And then as we sign off the call, we say, okay, great. So I'm going to start doing the research now. I just wanted to meet you first. I like doing business with good people. And, you seem like a good person. So I'm going to get to work. And if it's okay, is it okay? And I like this next part. Is it okay if we book a call in 2 days from now? Does that work for you? Now, what we're doing is we're basically asking permission at this point to follow up, if you really think about it. And that's good. If they say yes, then there's a 10 times greater chance you're going to get this person back on the phone than if they say no, right? Or if you don't say anything at all. So then I recommend you say, okay, great. Well, how does today's Tuesday? Why don't we talk Thursday at 2 p.m.? All right. Now, over these 2 days, you're going to be doing your due diligence. Now, what I recommend is when you call them back, you literally have your contract pulled up on your screen and you don't hit send until they pick up the phone. Okay. In my opinion, ideally, you can, of course, send them the contract without being on the phone with them. But ideally, you want to be present with them on the phone while they open up the contract. Okay. Now think about what's happened at this point. We spoke to them. We were compassionate. We were nice. We told them we were going to call them in 2 days. We actually called them in 2 days. We told them we were going to review the contract with them, and we're about to send the contract over to review it with them. They are now getting a level of service from you that they've literally not gotten from any other land investor ever, anyone else that's ever reached out to them. And those are big points when you're trying to accomplish your goal. Then we're going to call them up and we're going to walk through the, hey, yeah, okay, so this is the offer amount. So this is the terms of the deal. And here's why this is important. If that offer is low, which let's be honest, it is going to be low. What's important is that we're there with them, because when you're present with them, it's going to stop them from being so emotionally frustrated. Let's say you send me a low offer and no one's around. I might yell or, oh, damn it, they got me again. I knew they were going to do this to me. And then I'm going to be all emotional and all excited, and it's going to be hard for you to calm me back down. But if you get me on the phone and then you send I'm going to say, oh, it's a little lower than I thought it was going to be. Man, and then, well, that's a much, oh, yeah, and I have some rebuttals there too. So I'll give you guys now some rebuttals when they ask why the price is so low. Okay. So, hey, the price is a little lower than I thought. Oh, yeah. Do you remember when we spoke about putting utilities on the property? Yeah, I do. Okay. Well, yeah, did you know that utilities cost about $20,000 to actually get put on a property? Were you going to do that? Or did you want me to do that? I was like, I'm down to do it. We offer that as a service, but I just want to let you know, sir, if you got utilities on the property, I bet I could pay you $15,000 to $20,000 more for this property. Right. So what we're doing now is we're making it make sense. We didn't just make up this low ass number and send it to them. Right. I mean, maybe we did, but they don't know that. Right. But we're making it make sense. Hey, I see that it's 3 acres and that it's covered in woods. Yeah, that's right. Well, did you know it costs $25,000 an acre to clear trees? Isn't that crazy? I had no idea. But I'll tell you right now, if you cleared this property, I bet I could get you more money for this property. So there's 2 things you could do, sir, that if you wanted to knock it out, I could even send you the contacts. You want me to send you the contacts to get this stuff done? Right? And same thing as like when you're doing house investing. The hoarder is not going to clean out their own fucking house. If they were going to, they would have by now. Right? But we're making it make sense in their head why the offer was so low. That builds rapport. And I want you guys to think about a restaurant as an example. You don't go eat at a restaurant and the chef comes out and says, yeah, it looks like you ate about $200 worth of food. Does that work for you? Right? You come out and they give you an itemized receipt on exactly what you bought, how many you bought, and how much it costs. So when we talk to our sellers and they can begin to see the itemized receipt, they're going to think that you have integrity. Hey, you know what? This guy made it all make sense. That other guy just sent me a low freaking offer and never called me back. This guy told me why it was $50,000 lower than I expected. He offered to connect me with people so I could do the work myself and blah, blah, blah. And so it's like, that is a level of service that is really next level. And so the third thing I'll just say about this system is we all know in-person closings work better, right? This is why roofers knock on your door and people that do solar knock on your door because they want to be in front of you when they close that deal. What I've just told you is the closest we're ever going to get to having an at the table closing if you're virtual. So if you really think about it, you're taking this virtual thing and you're making it feel like you're both in the same room. And that alone is also going to increase your closing ratio. So that's my overall strategy on what I tell people, from the negotiations to setting up the seller and then also covering the contract with them too.
I love that, guys. There was like so much juice in that, right? Like, I mean, in the end, we're in a relationship business, right? Like,
Right.
people sell to you because they like you, right? Your offer is not irresistible, and let's be honest, like in 2025, you're not the first one calling them, texting them,
Yeah.
writing them, or whatever, right? It's always about building that relationship, and I like actually the term "fall in love," right? Just like be a reliable person on that end, right? Like, I mean, we have this system set up in our acquisitions, right? Like when we have a desirable lead that we like, then we schedule a call with a sales rep in 2 days, and we have our comms done in 2 days, and we follow exactly that same system. And I know a bunch of really other successful people who do the same, right? Because then you can do the objection handling in that moment where they see your offer. Can that be sometimes really frustrating? Yes, it can be, but like, they are not alone. And I like that, right? They are not alone. You're there to guide them in that moment and
Right.
to take some of the frustration and turn it around in understanding, right?
Right.
And that's like pretty the good stuff about that. Man, tell us a little bit more about Lead Mining Pros and how you handle that. I mean, you're on the radar. Like, I mean, we have worked with you in the past. We work with you like consistently every here and there, right? Like, and we always love the outcome. But and what I really like is that you don't have like any buy-in packages where you're bound for months, right? You can
Right.
take it as you go. So, talk a little bit about like what does Lead Mining Pro do?
Yeah, absolutely. I sure will. And I just
And
want to give
maybe
it.
Veroska, you can drop like the link here in the chat too, right?
Yeah,
I talked with her. We dropped that here in the chat if you want to check his website. Let's talk a little bit about
yeah,
that.
absolutely. And I want to give a shout out to Gene Austin real quick, who's on the call here. Gene is a longtime
Hey, Nick.
customer of ours. Hey, Gene, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. It's nice to see you over here. Thank you so much for
Nice to
coming
see
in.
you too.
Yeah, you're
You're
always,
everywhere.
I was
Thank
going to
you.
say the same thing about you. I love that. But yeah,
Yeah.
Gene's a longtime client of ours. Gene, what services have you used? Did you use texting and calling with us?
Initially, I used texting and calling, and I got really good results. I also think, because of the area I was in, so shh, don't tell nobody,
Atta
because
girl.
that's
I
still my
won't.
secret.
Yeah,
But it worked out really well for me. I mean, it,
yeah,
it really did.
love it.
So, I
Cool.
I can't say enough about it.
Yeah,
And if anybody is, I mean, I would highly recommend Nick,
yeah.
seriously. And I know
Well,
Robin said he's been using them, but I mean, it's like, okay, me, Alicia, Robin, we all use Nick.
yeah,
So
right. Yeah, no, and thank you, Gene. And one of the perks. So what I do as a whole is, first of all, relationships are very important to me. Gene, we have
hey,
group coaching calls. Yeah, go for it.
can I say when? Yeah, I was going to just say, because every week you do have that group coaching call. So
Yeah,
whether you're new or, experienced, you have that free coaching call. And Francisco and yourself have been awesome. And then you've had some other, home run hitters on there. And it's amazing. So in addition to what Nick provides for you, he also provides that weekly coaching for free. So it's
yeah.
awesome.
No,
Sorry.
thank you. No, you're great, Gene. And thank you so much. And guys, like, the same. So I just want to share with you guys the same advice I share with you guys about getting your customers to fall in love with you and providing next level service. It's the same thing you get when you come into my business, right? So that's actually what taught me that. We've been in business for 8 years. We're very successful. We were up 40% last year. Okay. And all of this stuff happens because I make sure that my clients are having an amazing experience. And so, how do I do that? So, I'll give you guys a rundown of what we do. real quick. So I pull a list. I can pull a list in any market in America, first and foremost. We do use DataTree data, which you guys probably already know. It's by far the best data provider out there in existence. It's super accurate and it works really well. So we use DataTree. After we pull that data, we offer skip tracing. Okay, our skip tracing is very good. We get the right person on the phone over 80% of the time. And then on top of that, after we do that, we put on our cold callers on the phone. Then we have American or foreign. For land, I recommend Americans, like I told you guys earlier. The Americans call everyone 3 times if they don't answer. And then we text message everybody as well. Now, anyone that replies to our text message positively, we keep the conversation going for you. Then we send you the entire conversation. So you get the calling leads and you get the texting leads sent directly to you. Now, I'm not done yet. So, but those are our main core services. We pull the list, we skip it, we call it, and we text it. The next big thing I offer, I call it a shitload of customer service. Okay. And that's kind of what Gene was talking about. So I give away free courses, which I linked already in the chat. Those are completely free. You guys can sign up right now. If you click on it, it might bring you to a login page, but there's a little button that says sign up right beneath that, and you can get in very quickly. On top of the courses, I have the free group coaching every Tuesday from 2 to 3, and every customer gets my cell phone number, which I'll also just put in the chat just so everybody can have it. And then on top
I
of
thought I
having,
was special as I have it, right? I thought I was special, but I'm not, right?
yeah, that's right. Everyone, hey, if you pay me, you're really special. I just want to let everyone know that right now. If you become a customer of mine, you're the most special person in the world. But on top of getting my cell phone number, you guys have direct access. You can call me if you get a lead. Like almost consider me. I'm not like a land investing coach. I'm like a lead generation coach, right? If you guys have questions about your campaigns, you got a lead's giving you a hard time, I can give you guys some strategies to help get that lead under contract. But after you get it under contract, my expertise kind of dwindles down a little bit. You might want to check out my man Robin over here. Okay. But I'm here to get you to a contract. That's my goal. And then the final thing I offer all of my clients is weekly one-on-one calls. Okay. So every Friday, you're going to get all of your stats sent to you from us. And then in that email is going to be a link to book a one-on-one call with me, where I will actually go over your entire campaign with you. The same way I said you should go over the contract with your sellers, I go over the entire campaign with you. So you're not confused. You don't have questions. And if you do, I answer them right there on the spot. The other perk of these weekly calls is you could pick a crappy market. I had a guy hire me 2 weeks ago. He got 0 leads after his first week. It was like someplace in South Carolina. It was very close to a metro area and it wasn't going well. I said, hey, what have you thought about doing other markets? What's going on there? He said, yes. I said, let's go. We moved markets. The next week he got 17 leads. It did not cost him a single penny to make that change. I didn't charge him extra. And because we were mid-campaign, I actually covered the cost for him at this case to make the change. Even it did cost me something because I pulled the DataTree records and I skip traced them. But he got 17 leads, and in no other service would anyone have caught that and made those changes. So the big perk of the one-on-ones is for us to make live campaign pivots if we need to. And the other part is if you do have, that's if you don't have a lot of leads. If you do have a lot of leads, I ask you how it went. I work with you on your conversion strategy. Like everything we just talked about, I'll cover that with you. And I'll say, well, did you try that? How did it go? Did you say their name? Because there's a lot of subtle mistakes we can make sometimes when talking to these leads. I'll give you one example. I would never ask a land homeowner how much he wants for his property, ever. Okay. And the reason why is land doesn't have a real value. So asking someone that question is just forcing you to start at a higher price and try to work your way down. You would rather open your mouth first and start at a lower price and then work your way up than say, oh, I want 500K. Well, I was going to offer 50. So I guess this conversation's over. Right. Or, hey, I'm going to offer 50 and then maybe we end up at 75. right? And so it's like, then we have these leeways. So I would never ask anyone how much they want for their land. I would only make the offer. Go ahead, Robin. I know you got a question.
No, I'm just like, I think like alone this like 40 minutes we're on here, there was like so much in there which you want to do. And you know what I really like is you are so natural and so close to your customers, right? This is and at one point, like when you run a company, and this is why I, for example, run our comms calls, because there's nobody else in that company that could do it on a level and on a quality I do it, because I look probably at 25,000 properties in my life,
Wow.
right? Like every single property that we have under contract, every offer that goes out, I will give a final yes or no to that. um, and this is how you become extremely good at that, in like doing it over and over and over and over again. And
Right.
when you can using this, when you can by using a service get access to that person like Nick, right? Or like it is with us, like, and have direct contact. This is like more worse than anything else, right? I mean, when I started this in the coaching program, I signed up. I signed up with the OG, like, and it was like a high five-figure amount. Like it was north of $65,000,
Yeah.
right? And um, that was what was the juice in the end, because that is like the insights, the tips, the network, the direct relationship. What you can't outweigh in money, right?
Yeah.
So this is what I really like, and this is because like we had a conversation 2 3 weeks ago and we talked about that, and like then it's like, hey, you know what? I know that guy. Let me bring you in touch with that. Hey, I had that situation with another customer. Oh, this is how we solved that. Try that, right?
That's a,
And
yeah.
this is what happens. This is how you get in the environment of people that are doing deals, and this is how you can get successful. So probably that's another tip. When you there's two ways how you can in our business get information. The first one is you sign up for coaching. The second one is you sign up for service. And I on our last family mastermind meeting, Nick, I don't know who said that, but somebody said when you're a coaching business, you're a service business, and when you're a service business, you're a coaching business. So
Right.
with people working with people like Nick or like us, or like any other services, because this is what we really try to provide you here, right, guys? Like every Thursday is give you options. Who is out there in the market who has that knowledge, who is a subject matter expert in that, that you can connect and reach out. And you see, like Gene is doing it, right? Like probably somebody else is doing it that doesn't want to out them right now, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing it too. Um, um, so use that networks you spin too, right? This morning we had in our comms call, we had like a lady bringing like a property in Riverside County in California. And guess what? There was another guy on the call. He said, "You know what? I drive over there for you. I live 4 miles away from that property. Let me check that out." Because it was with slope and views and all that crap, right? So, and this is how you connect. This is a level, and not a, maybe I've never heard somebody talking about that in the land space. It's like building that relationships with people that are doing something, and that are your network in the end. This is something where you need to work on too. And like the great thing about the land space is everybody wants to collaborate. Everybody is there for you. It's
Right.
not like a one direction, right? This is why you're probably here. This is why you hang out with us. So I really appreciate you for like sharing all that knowledge with us. And yeah, I think the network piece and like really this relationship
Right.
piece is really big. If you ever want to read a good book on that, by the way, that's off topic. Dale Carnegie, How to Make Friends and Influence People, is a must read, and it's fun to read it. It's a really well written book, and I can just like get it to you. It will make your life easier. But uh, Nick, one last thing. When we want to get you, we drop the link here. You drop your cell phone number. I know you're always there when I call you, right? Like, is that for everybody or is it just for me? Am I not
Yeah,
that
no, it's
special?
fair.
Again,
No, yeah, look at Jean shaking her head. Jean knows. It's like, I love being, uh, I make a joke to my friends and family. I don't give a shit what I'm doing. If I'm at dinner and my phone's ringing, as long as, you're not my girlfriend. If I'm out with a friend, I got to get this. If I'm out with family, I got to get this. It's like, you know, and even if I answer to say, hey, can I call you back in 30 minutes? Or, hey, can you call me back in an hour? Like I always try, if I am available, I answer. And, and It's amazing. I love it, and I'll be honest with you. I think I love it because my customers love it. You know, I can tell. Oh my God! Like I called a woman today. She goes, "I thought a VA was going to call me. What are you doing calling me?" And I'm like, "I'm the VA, baby. Like, let's go. Like,
Yeah.
I don't I don't care, you know." And the reality is, and if I'm being honest, guys, I made $1 million last year, right? So I better be answering my fucking phone, right? Do I want to make $1 million next year? The advice I'm giving you guys is to own your stuff and to do the things. And I just want you guys to know I'm taking that advice. I didn't just make it up, right? I'm owning it. If you look at my whole sales process, it's exactly what I told you how you handle your seller. The way it works, like you mentioned, you click on his link, you guys can call me directly or book a call. After you book a call, tell me your market, tell me your budget. I'll tell you exactly what to buy for best results. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to guess. I walk you through it. After you buy it, I meet with you to make sure it's going well or we make changes. So I just want to share that is one of the big differences that Lead Mining Pros offers its clients. And just so you guys know, you're like, why did you create something like this? Could be something you'd say. And it's like, well, the truth is, guys, when I'm a customer, I'm the biggest pain in the ass in the world. Okay. And I created my business to take care of big pains in the asses because that's me. Okay. When I walk into a building, I'm calling you out. I'm messing you up. Hey, that sucked. This sucked. So because I take that and I put that into my business and I make sure that my business is stronger. And that's kind of how I even came up with the acquisition system and my system that I use to take care of my clients too.
On that. Before we get into Q&A, man, I wanna ask you one question.
Yeah.
Um, we've seen like a lot of people last year quitting the industry, right? I know that you were growing, we were growing, but like a lot of people just dropped out. What do you think are the most common mistakes why people get under the impression that they are not successful, will not be successful in this business?
You know, I think the answer to that is exactly why I created those courses. Okay. If you guys watch my courses, you will literally get confidence from them. And I think, and the short answer is they're lacking confidence about what they're doing. That's the short answer. Okay. I literally give away, if you click that link, there's 7 free courses. It's like, I recommend watching only 2 of them. One's 40 minutes. That's the onboarding course. One's an hour. That's called the Hour a Day Investor course. But I have 8 courses in total that you could go through in your free time if you want to. When you're done watching those, you're going to feel so, oh, I know exactly what to do. I know exactly what to say. And that's what I think the problem is. People, they know they want to make money. They know they want to change their lives, so they get involved. Then after they get involved, they don't really know what to say and what to do. In that Hour a Day Investor course that's free, I give you scripts, processes, and a written out flow chart of the exact process every lead should go through. And that's free. I'll tell you, people charge $5,000, $10,000 for that stuff. And I just give it away because you need to, if I'm going to be sending you leads, you need to know these things. And that's exactly why I give it away for free. So I would say a lack of knowledge that leads to a lack of confidence. All they want to know is they want to change their lives, but they don't exactly know how. So they come in, they get excited, and then they leave just as quickly.
That's what it is. And it takes a lot, right? Like, I mean, you walk the talk, right? Like answering the phone, being on top of things, taking ownership and responsibility. This is what it really needs to be successful in this business. And, I had a discussion with somebody like this week, and he said something, and he's an OG. He does that for 12 years, right? And he said, like, you know what, Robin, everybody I know who is 5 years in this business, who is consistently making offers and doing marketing, all of these people are rich, right?
Right.
So, and this is what I wanted to give you. Be confident, believe in yourself, believe in the journey, and when things are not happening like you want them to be, see how can you adjust that? Because this is what entrepreneurship is about, right?
Yep.
Making things happen out of every
Right.
situation.
Interaction.
And
Yeah.
with that said, Nick, that was like probably one of the best sessions we ever had here. I really love that. That was like in such
Thank
a
you.
short amount of time, so much value. So thank you for
Yeah,
that. So
absolutely.
check him out, check in his scores. I have seen his scores like a while back. Maybe I will recheck in today. I'm registering after this. And check out Lead Mining Pros, guys. Just like give it a try. Like what you get, money to value is like incredible.
Yeah.
Before you do it by yourself, just like use Nick, and try them out. And I think you can start with as low as $250, right?
My smallest text messaging package is actually $160.
Okay.
And we pulled a list for you. We skip trace it and we text message it for you. So you can get started for, and in land, you'll probably get anywhere from like 3 to 8 leads on that, something like that. And for $160, you really can't beat it.
Love that. I love that. Um, with that said, brother, thank you so much for being here with us today. Are there any questions you have for Nick before we let him go? Everybody's just like blown away
Yeah,
still.
they're
Like,
loving it.
"Whoa, what was that, man? Like,
Well,
fuck, like that guy."
I've been told I'm very thorough. So a lot of
Yeah.
people sometimes when I'm done, they're like, you covered it. I definitely talk a lot. I was meant to own a cold calling company. I can
Yeah.
tell you that much.
Yeah, okay, I can see
That's a
that,
fact.
man.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. But awesome.
Awesome. Okay, guys, when there are no questions, I think that everything has been said.
Yeah.
Nick, thank you so much for being on with us. Oh, Gene has a question.
No, I
Oh,
don't. I was just gonna say
you're
bye,
waving
guys.
by.
Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
See everybody next week, and yeah, we'll be in touch. And thank you for showing up today. And sorry for my weird voice and for coughing and all that, but that's what it is. So
Good.
have a great day, and talk to you soon, guys.
All right. See you guys. Bye.